Oh, my name is George Gobel, and, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Garry. Happy birthday to you.
I've Got a Secret, starring Garry Moore.
While you all were talking about the top of the show, I was just counting. That's right, 17. Comes out easy. Good evening, friends, and welcome to another edition of I've Got a Secret. Thank you, friends, for the surprise. Let us meet now our panel. To begin with, there is Bill Cullen, and then there is Jayne Meadows, and Cake Bacon Henry Morgan, and welcoming back our lovely Betsy Palmer. That is our panel. Now, you all set to play the game, friends?
Oh, yeah.
Let's have at it then. May we have our first contestant, please? Will you come in? By the way, in case anybody out there is wondering, the answer is 42. Now, would you tell the audience, please, what your name is and where you're from?
My name is Dean Thomas, and I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
Dean Thomas from Columbus, Ohio. All right, Dean, if you'll whisper your secret to me, at the same time, we'll show it to the folks at home. All right, to help classify Mr. Thomas's secret panel, I will tell you it concerns something that he did, and Jane, we'll start with you. Something he did.
Something you did, Dean. Did you do this recently?
Yes, I did.
Would it have been in the newspapers?
Yes.
You look rather athletic to me. Would this have been in the sports section of the newspaper?
No.
Would it have been on the front page of the newspaper?
Many of the newspapers.
Would it be an event of some kind?
Yes.
What's been in the newspapers recently?
Jane, may I say event depends upon how you use the term. Not an event in the case of a formally arranged affair.
Nothing like the inauguration?
No.
Would it be something like the birth of Princess Caroline Louise Marguerite? No.
I think, in all honesty, you must say it was something remotely like it. $20 down and $60 to go when we go to Henry Morgan, please.
I missed something here. Is it something you did or that happened to you?
Something he did.
What connection has that got with that?
He might have.
He might have?
done
And it's
something.
remotely connected with the birth of the Infanta there or whatever?
No.
He says no. I say it terribly
Well, let's say it
remotely.
this way. It was something... Did something new happen
Yes.
to you?
Yes.
Did you have did your wife... Are you a new father? How remote is this?
He was not that closely connected with this event.
Are you... Are you connected to any of the people connected to that event?
After a fashion.
The answer to that would have to be, wow, how would you answer that without giving anything away? Our answer to that is we can't answer that question. That's right, $40 down and $40 to go, for the simple reason, Henry, that in your question you were making an assumption which has not yet been established. We'll go on to Betsy Palmer, please.
Oh.
I never did a thing like that my whole life.
Tonight you did.
Well, tell me, Dean, does this event, is it connected with an animal instead of a human being?
Yes.
Well, is it an animal that belongs to you?
No.
No. Well, is it a four-legged animal?
No.
No? There are animals with only two legs? Kangaroos with long tails? Is it an animal that is in a zoo? Oh, it isn't the monkey, is it? The little baboon that was born? Or...
No.
No?
A chicken?
Not a monkey.
Chicken, well, a bird of sorts.
Not a bird.
But it's an animal. The animal gave birth to something?
To another animal.
To another animal.
Which we thought was rather... we thought was rather clever of it under the circumstances. $60 down and $20 to go, and we go to Bill Cullen.
Well, it's a two-legged animal that I think Betsy said was not a human being, so it makes it in that ape class, general class. Was it smaller than an ape?
No.
Then it is an ape.
True. Yes.
You, no. You had something to do with a recently arrived ape.
Yes.
Or simian. You,
Gorilla.
Gorilla.
Well, that
Yeah,
movie
Ape.
was still
A
born,
zoo,
right?
a zoo had a gorilla. A new gorilla was born at a zoo, and you were there, and
He's the godfather.
you're the godfather. Are you a veterinarian?
No.
Where is he from again?
A veg-
He's from
Columbus,
He's from Columbus,
Ohio.
Ohio.
Columbus. You were the man who, well, how can you possibly connect a man with a thing like that?
introduced the parents.
You,
They met at his house.
you sent it a birthday card.
Before it gets too bad, let's, here we go. He was the mid-husband.
Oh, come on.
That's the way to say it. He was not a veterinarian. Mr. Thomas delivered the only gorilla ever born in captivity.
That's the one I was talking about. I said a baboon.
You said a monkey or a baboon. A
Well,
gorilla
yeah.
is an ape, not a monkey. We have to be terribly correct, you see.
But that's what I
we
was
have some
referring to.
pictures here taken, as a matter of fact, by Jayne Wells of the Columbus Dispatch, and these are pictures of the family. This is Mom. Yeah, nice, dear old Mom. And here's dear old Dad. And here is a picture of Mr. Thomas and little Fuzz Top. You know she's got a haircut like mine? How old was she here, Dean?
She's about a week and a half old.
About a week and a half old. This is Mr. Thomas here. And here is another picture of her taking a well-deserved rest.
It's frightening how...
Kind of cute
how
in an
much she
ugly
looks like
sort
a
of way.
real baby.
Now, Mr. Thomas, you happened to be in the cage or passing the cage at the time of the birth, isn't that right?
Yes, I was.
And you assisted in the last minutes. And as I understand it, the baby gorilla, it's the first one that's ever been born in captivity. That's what makes this a very exciting thing. The baby gorilla was very close to not making it, wasn't he?
That's right.
Or she. And what did you do to help her pull through?
Well, when I found her, she was not breathing, so I attempted to stimulate her breathing by slapping her on the back. She caught her breath twice and lost it, so I had to resort to blowing into her mouth.
And you're blowing into her mouth and filling her lungs is what started her lung action, huh?
Stimulated the first breathing.
And now she's just fine, huh?
Fine.
How much does she weigh? Did she weigh when she was born?
Last time I checked, 5 pounds, 10 and a half ounces.
And she will grow to be roughly how big?
Oh, about 250, 300 pounds.
So, you see, that's quite a thing. First man in the world ever to have done so. And the two gorillas were the first ever to have done so, too. So, you have a carton of Winston's, our $80, our thanks, and it was an awful nice meeting. Now then, panel, I'm going to ask you all except Jayne Meadows to please put on your blindfolds for this next spot. The reason that Jayne is accepted will be explained to you in a moment. So Betsy and Henry and Bill, if you will put your blindfolds in place, we will then ask our next contestant to come in, please. Jayne, will you come out here, please? Now, what is your name, please, and where you're from?
Well, I'm Rule, and I'm from New York City.
This is Mr. Rule, and he is from New York City. Now, panel, I will tell you plainly and openly that Jayne is in cahoots with us on this secret. We called to her yesterday and asked her to come in early this evening and help us with this particular spot. Now, Mr. Rule, if you will whisper your secret to me, at the same time we'll show it to the folks at home. All right, panel, this concerns something that Mr. Rule is going to do, or is doing, actually. And we'll start the questioning with, who? Well, with Henry, I guess.
Well, it can't be anything that isn't wonderful on television.
That's true.
What's he doing, hypnotizing her? I mean, it can't be anything, you know.
It's nothing gruesome, if that's what you mean.
No, I isn't what I mean, but is this something that Mr. Rule can do only with Jayne?
No.
Has she met him before?
Yes, he met him before, earlier this evening, helping to prepare for this spot.
Is this something that Mr. Rule does only with ladies?
Yes.
Did Mr. Rule answer that?
Yes, that was Mr. Rule.
Oh. Are you doing it now while you're talking?
Yes.
Oh, good for you. Does Jane enjoy what you're doing?
Very much, Henry.
You keep out of this. Sneak.
$20 down and $60 to go, and we go to Betsy Palmer, please.
Well, there was a burst of applause. Evidently, Mr. Rule, you just finished or accomplished something with Jane?
Yes.
Is it something you're doing to her personally?
Yes.
To her body? Are you doing it to her above the neck?
Yes.
Are you doing something with Jane's hair?
Yes.
Are you giving her a new hairstyle?
Yes.
Is that your secret that you're,
Gee, that's almost
of it?
that's almost it. That's part of it. You'll have to keep working at it. Now, Bill thinks he has it, but he'll have to wait for his turn.
are you cutting her hair
No.
at all? No, he wouldn't be cutting your hair, Jane, that's true. You wouldn't let that happen on stage.
I certainly wouldn't, Betty.
I should say I wouldn't either.
I'd
Let me see. Well, then, are you putting something on her hair?
Yes.
Like a lacquer, or are you spraying
No.
a different color?
No.
That's part of the secret. Henry, you'll have to wait your time, old friend.
Oh, gracious, I should get the bell soon, shouldn't I now?
As
There
a
we
matter of
are.
fact, yes, you can. All right. That's $40 down and $40 to go, and we go to Bill Cullen, who seems to think he knows something. So, Bill?
Well, the applause after Betsy's questioning sort of make me believe I do, Gary, but I'm probably, as usual, wrong. After every round of questioning, there is applause, so I gather that Mr. Rule is changing Jane's hairstyle each time someone is questioning, and she looks differently every
Take your
different-
blindfolds off. You got it made. Let's keep right on going, Mr. Rule. He has been giving her a different hairdo every 45 seconds. It has just been coincidental that your questioning has ended at the time of each hairdo. And right now, he's giving her a hairdo that will remind you of an absent friend of ours.
Oh.
Hey, that's a nifty thing.
Isn't that good? And very becoming to you, too.
Very lovely.
I want you to know I have the best exercise scalp in television.
Because Mr. Rule and Jane got together and worked this thing out before the show. Naturally, he had to know, how our hair was to work. What are you doing now, Mr. Rule? What are you making now?
Well, we're now giving her the very latest in fashion, as we advocate from Coiffures Americana, which I'm the style director for, and we have these salons from coast to coast in the leading department stores.
Mm-hmm. And this gentleman, he trains the operators who go out to the other leading department stores and do these tricky hairdos all over. What do you make? What is the name of this now?
We call this the Matty Hara.
Matty Howard, can we turn around now in full view of the audience and let you see the whole thing as it transpires? Ladies, thank you. Don't forget your loot now. Wait a minute. We got to give you, I think you won with $40 and a carton of Winston's. Carton of Winston's. Just a minute, something else. You can do those hairdos. Maybe you can figure this out, how to play it. It's our new game called I've Got a Secret. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Bye-bye. We're going to have to get him to work on me after the show, huh?
Yours is the Matty No-Hara.
Matty No'Hara. Yes, Matty No'Hara. Now then, panel, before we greet Lonesome George, I would like you all to leave your blindfolds there, but do please leave the premises, go out to the soundproof room, and we'll call you when we want you back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a rare occasion when I can introduce to you a man so beloved, so well-loved all over the country. And so I can say without any fear of reproach that never before in the history of television, radio, has there been such a man.
What's the matter, Gary? Has the cat got your tongue?
Oh, hell, George. You came in too early. I had a whole lot of wonderful stuff to say.
Yeah, well,
there.
that's what I was afraid of. You were starting to laugh out there, too.
George, what is your secret for tonight?
Well, I'll tell you, Gary, since I've been in New York, I've been doing a lot of shows and going in. And every time you go in, you know how this works. You say, well, now,
what sort of a script do you have prepared? What am I supposed to do? And they say, well, we don't have anything. You'll come up with you'll say something funny, you know. They say that all the time.
Yeah.
You know? And that's a little risky, you know.
Sure is.
So tonight I just decided that, well, on this show I'm just going to minimize the risk.
You're going to what to the risk?
Make it smaller.
How are you going to minimize the risk tonight?
Well, first we'll have to raise the curtains.
Can we open the curtains, please?
See, I brought 3 of my writers with me tonight, Karen. That's Howard Leeds, Harry Winkler, and Everett Greenbaum, and my producer would have been here, too, but he had tickets to My Fair Lady.
He knew a good thing when he saw it. So now, what are your 3 writers going to do for you?
Well, you see, they got a television set back there.
Yeah?
And when somebody asks me a question, they're going to listen, and then they're going to talk into the microphone on their table, and through the miracle of electronics, I have here a little earphone, which I'll be able to hear through.
Hold it around this way so the camera can get a shot of it. George has got an earphone on there. He's connected with the writers, and they'll give him a funny answer to say, you see? Now, I have one here, too, George, that your gang rigged up for me.
Listen, I'm not hitched up here yet either, you know.
You're not hooked up yet?
No.
The only thing I'm worried about is I'm afraid these things are a little obvious.
If I hit this myself, will I have to join another union or anything like that?
You can do.
Listen, don't worry about them being obvious, because I think of everything, Gary.
Yeah? Except how to put the plug in.
Except how you do this. This is pretty tricky.
Oh, boy. Put it in and turn it, everybody says. Now, what that means, I don't know.
You see?
Well,
What do you turn?
we can't think of anything funny to say here because we aren't hooked up to the writers yet.
I can go back and ask them in person.
Can somebody from the electrical department come out here?
Did you ever? I got it.
Vic,
I got it.
Vic. There you are.
Now, he's
Vic,
got to get paid
this is
extra,
Vic.
right?
This is Vic Ruby, the Thomas Edison of CBS television.
Saved my life.
All right. Now, so still, I got this thing dangling from
Now,
my ear.
listen,
What
I got
happens?
this all figured out. I think of everything, see?
Yeah.
Now, here, you haven't got to worry in the world.
This is so that nobody will notice anything strange.
They'll never think there's anything kinky going on, Gare. Believe me now.
All right, let's have the panel back. Let's
close
have-
the curtains first.
Close the curtains, fellas. Don't go away. We're going to need you. Yeah, oh, boy. Whatever. You sure Red
Yeah.
Buttons isn't going to sue us?
I don't know.
All right, panel, welcome back. I will tell you this, that this secret concerns something that George Gobel is doing. And we'll start with... Don't make a difference. We'll start with... start with Henry again.
You look terrible.
George.
Gare.
You look lovely.
Yes, Henry.
I don't know what you're doing, but it doesn't help. You know, you look like a pair of old red buttonses.
We just commented on that before we said this.
George, this thing that you're doing...
Why do you do it?
Of course, the hat has nothing to do with it.
Is that a question? Does the hat have anything to do with your
Does the
secret?
hat have anything to do with your secret?
Yes.
Question is, does the hat have anything to do with the secret?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
But on the way to the theater tonight, I saw a man fall out of a window 18 stories high.
You saw what?
I asked him what happened, and he said, I don't know, I just got here myself.
I may have that in here somewhere. Would you mind repeating the answer?
Yes, we would. If that's the question, the answer is yes.
What we?
I think he's getting a little tricky now, you know.
Yeah. Ask
He
another
looks like
question.
he's trying to get me in trouble, Gary. I don't know. He looks like the kind of a guy that would invite his mother-in-law over to dinner, steal her false teeth, and hand her an ear of corn.
George, you want to keep up our tenuous friendship? When I ask you a civil question, I would like to get a civil answer.
You'll get one.
I have no mother-in-law.
No civil mother.
No civil mother-in-law, anyway. This is a terrible time to ask a question. I don't want to hear the answer. You let one ear out. Is that significant?
Is the fact that one ear is out significant?
No, I wouldn't say so. And that reminds me, we once had an old cow who wouldn't give any milk, so we sold him.
$20 down and $60 to go, and we go to Betsy Palmer, please.
Is it that every time we ask you a question, are you going to give the answer by telling a joke that you're making up at the time?
No.
No.
Can I come in with a question right now since you said no?
Let me know.
Hmm?
What? Betsy, I noticed...
Betsy, I notice you're getting bald. Correction. Correction, I'm getting bald.
You're getting bald, yeah.
What I mean is, my hair is getting thin, but then who wants fat hair?
You almost won the whole show there for a minute.
Henry's gone completely.
No, it's the worst sight I've ever seen.
It looked like a couple of jelly beans.
Some of the worst sounds you ever heard, too.
Tell me, are you doing something to your head with that hat?
No. No, and I wouldn't lie to you unless, if I'm going to lie to you, I'll tell you that I'm lying. That's unless I'm telling a lie, of course.
$40 down and $40 to go, and we go to Bill Cullen, please.
Well, this is a part, I guess, from the actual questioning, but most things have been on this spot. You got two little fellas in there redoing your hair in those hats?
No.
Let's think about it.
And you know, I've been trying to cross a black widow spider with a horse.
Why?
I don't know what I'm going to get, but if it bites me, I can ride it to the hospital.
Obvious that you fellas are hearing something in those hats. Are those hats concealing a hearing device of some kind?
Yes.
Wait a minute now, that's not all of it. The answer is yes. Let's think about it for a minute.
And, Gary?
Yeah?
I know a scientist who just crossed a flea with an elephant.
Oh?
You know what he got?
Oh, no. What do you got?
A ride to a hospital. Just the smallest element you'll ever
Very poor diction.
Yeah, well, I never could read very good. You know what, Gary?
Look, we've only got a minute. Bill, you have guessed that there's something concealed in the hats. Let's take the hats off, George.
Yeah, it's sure warm in
An
here.
old joke book, I bet.
We have a hearing aid, each of us. The hearing aid is, of course, attached to wires. The wires eventually are attached to microphones. The microphones are attached behind that curtain. May we open the curtain, please? To three of George's writers who've been giving us the funny answers.
Oh, no.
It's Howard Leeds on this side, and Harry Winkler in the center, and Everett Greenbaum on that side.
Nifty job, guys. No kidding. Really a nifty job. George, I'm going to be seeing you in a matter of a few moments on this same stage on my morning show. Here is your loot. Here is your carton of Winston's. Above all our thanks, unhook yourself, and don't go too far, because I'll be seeing you on the morning show.
All right, thank you, Gary. You mind if I have a few words with the writers before I leave?
I think you ought to.
I think I will.
Well, friends, that's it for tonight. Betsy Palmer, thank you ever so much. Needless to say, rest of regular gang, thank you. And so until tomorrow morning on our morning show with George Gobel, or next week on this show, this will be Garry Moore saying bye-bye for all of us. Be very kind to each other, will you? Goodbye out there.
Travel arrangements for I've Got a Secret are made through United Airlines. United Airlines flies our contestants in fast new DC-7 mainliners. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. Miss Meadows' gown by Sorrell. This is John Campbell.
Your closet